To be fully committed to changing your fitness level and overall quality of life requires you to make a lifestyle change, which means that you're fully invested in your overall life narrative and the story you want to tell. For John Katsavos, he's been a personal trainer for more than 15 years, who's dedicated to helping people get their confidence back in their lives through martial arts, exercise, and mindset hacks. For John, resiliency plays a big part of his personal and professional story. He challenges himself to learn the full fitness story of whomever he's working with in order to relate to them on a more human level. Katsavos joined me this week to have a conversation about fitness, resilience, and the meaning of personal and professional perseverance. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Take a moment to welcome you to the program, buddy, and I'm excited to learn all about how to help people live a better life in the fitness space. Good to see you again, and thank you so very much for being here today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, I know that you're a fitness personal trainer, buddy, that works to sort of make sure that people get their confidence back through fitness and other forms of martial arts. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about all the good work that you do.
Sure. By trade, I'm a personal trainer. But I've been doing personal training for 15 years, and it seems like most personal trainers out there are more like life coaches than they are physical coaches. So I thought with the onset of COVID and all the people suffering from mental health issues, addictions, and isolation, I thought to myself, well, there's an easy solution to all this. And easy solution is getting active, getting out there, going out for daily walks, doing little workout routines by yourself, and you don't necessarily need a gym. So I thought, let me put my knowledge online and start sharing that with the people. And through it, I created a couple of kettlebell courses, in-home workouts, in-park workouts. Now that I moved to an area of the world where I can, see people physically, and things a lot in the world are opening up now, so I can get back to, working out in gyms and helping people out in gyms. So that's why that table is there to help people become better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, buddy, that you have 4 pillars of exercise. So I'm wondering if you can tell me all about it and how you came up with it.
Sure. It's the 4 pillars of fitness. And the 4 pillars of fitness are basically the 4 things that I see that people are missing that limit them to get the most out of their workouts. And that basically revolves the general concept of the general scope of fitness and everything, which is nutrition, rest and recovery, exercise, and mindset. And it's basically, what I do is I formulate my entire programs all around those 4 pillars of fitness. So I help people identify where they're missing, which pillar is more prominent than the other, and what they can do to the other ones to bring them up through simple life hacks.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know that confidence is a big part of what you do and helping people restore their confidence. So tell me about restoring their confidence and the change you see in people once you start working with them.
That's a very interesting point because you don't really see it. I like to tell people that seeing your body change is like watching grass grow. Like you don't see it until somebody points it out to you, and that's where you see the most where the person has the biggest aha moment when somebody they haven't seen in 3 months, 6 months, a year, all of a sudden they see them and they're like, whoa, what happened to you? You just see the you just see the person just change, just switch from um, you know, being unconfident to having a ton of self-confidence. And I remember one story, one client that I had, she came to me, she was about 100 pounds overweight. She was like 5'4", 250 pounds. And she was super shy, extremely shy. For me to get any word or for me to engage this young lady in conversation, it was like trying to pull nails. It was so painful. But after building confidence and rapport with this person, she was started opening up to me. She just came in just for talking her problems to with somebody else. So basically, making a long story short, like we spent a year together, and at the end of it, towards the end of it, she was ready to cancel her membership, and my manager, she kind of did like a double take when she saw her. When she scanned in, and my manager just did, "Are you sure you're the right person?" She's like, "Yeah, that's me. Yeah, this is my card." And she goes, "Well, this is who you looked, who you were a year ago when we took the picture of when you started with us, and you look nothing like this person anymore." She never hugged me before. When she saw me, she gave me the biggest hug, and she couldn't stop saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that just changed her, and it changed the trajectory of her life too, because she ended up finding someone to marry. I'm hoping that if she's listening to this, that she's happy with that person. And yeah, I mean, it's to answer your question, it's self-confidence is something that you build over time. And when it comes to something like personal training and changing body transformation, you don't necessarily see it right away. It's somebody that will point it out to you.
And in terms of, just one follow up on regaining confidence, what do you think is the key to start taking ownership of your fitness journey?
Keeping it simple. Try keep it simple, because fitness, like changing your fitness, changing the way you look, you really are changing the way you live, because it's not one piece. It's not like a physical transformation. It's a personal transformation. And trying to keep these things simple is key, because it can get so much. So just trying to keep it simple. Change one small thing at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me, but I'm curious to ask you about your own personal journey and how you've evolved into the person you are today.
I've always been in the fitness world. But when I haven't been in the fitness world, it's been very hard, like psychologically for me. Uh, the hardest part was when I was in my 20s, which was like 20 years ago. Don't do the math. Or do the math. I don't care.
I'm going through a calculator in my head, but that's okay.
I had it all. I had it all and more. A good job that was paying me good money. Put myself back into university so I could, level up my life. I was going to move out on my own. I had my own car, bought my own car, a car that I shouldn't have bought. And I lost my job. I lost my job because of somebody else's actions, two people's actions. And it led me into a really dark place. Like I didn't want to go out. I locked myself in my parents' basement for a year. Every morning that I would wake up, and I would always wake up late because I would go to bed like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I would wake up. I'd have some very negative words to myself in the mirror. And it basically ended up for me standing on a bridge thinking about ending it because I felt completely worthless. I didn't feel like I had any value left in this world. And for a young man in his mid-20s, when all his friends have their life, quote unquote, intact and on the path that everybody else thinks that the path is proper for them, you look at your life. I was looking at my life thinking, I'm nowhere near these guys. So what's the point of me continuing? And it was up until that bridge, I had a little bit of an epiphany, a little bit of a divine intervention, if you will, telling me that, you know what, I have more to this world. I have more to offer this world than I really tell myself right now. So at the time, I didn't really think that, but I didn't really believe it. But it was like one thing after another, one small step after another. Like I would go out for a daily walk. Like I would wait for my parents to go to work, and I would just force myself outside just for 5 minutes, get some fresh air. And the 5 minutes led to a little bit of a longer walk, a little bit more focus on finding another job. So I found a job that led me to get into a gym. The job led to a higher paying job, which led me to get to a martial arts practice, which I did for 12 years after that. I started instructing people, and it was just one thing at a time. Slowly but surely, I got to the point where I am now.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the ways you bring value to your life now is I know that profoundly changed you when you started working with folks with disabilities and helping them maximize their fitness level. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about it.
Sure. When I had gotten that next level job, I found myself really bored. I was working at a loading dock, and I'm like, okay, this is a great job, pays well, but there's no future. There's no drive for me to go anywhere. So I decided one night in an elevator, I was like, you know what? I really love doing personal training. And I've never been the type of person that I like complacency. I always like pushing myself. I always like living outside my comfort level. So becoming a personal trainer, I knew how to work out. I knew how to get results for myself. I've been helping my friends and my family members. So basically, going back to the story, is I became a personal trainer because that's one of the passions in my life. And one day, my boss asked me if I was interested in challenging myself, like in training. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I love a challenge. I love thinking outside the box. So he gave me my first disabled person, which he was blind, and trying to explain a leg press, for example, for a blind person, really, really pushed how I was supposed to look at explaining a quote unquote simple movement for somebody who is not disabled to somebody who can't see. And it was like, okay, how am I going to explain this movement to someone that doesn't have the ability of sight? So it really pushed me to think outside the box, really pushed me to really identify my explanation process into the next level. And it from there it has been just one person after another, after another, after another, and after another. And it's one challenge after another. Like I had one person with spina bifida. He had 1% functionality in his lower extremities. It's like, how do I stimulate the muscles that will mimic a squat for a person who only has 1% functionality in his lower extremities? There's a way to do it, but I have to, again, think outside the box of, put him on a leg press. Well, he can't do a leg press. Do a hack squat. Well, he can't stand up. How am I going to put him in a hack squat? So there's a specific way from a seated position to stimulate the muscles, because that's all it is. It's muscle stimulation. They don't care whether you name it a squat or a leg press or a hack squat or a deadlift or whatever. It's just, how do you stimulate the muscle with what the person has?
Yeah, as you know, Jonathan, I used to work in inclusive employment, and I told you on your own podcast that sometimes you gotta fit the person to what you're asking them to do, rather than fitting fitting what you're asking the person to do to what their capabilities are, right?
Yeah, to a point. To a point. Like when it comes to working with people with disabilities, it's pretty evident what they're capable of. And it's a little bit harder when people don't have the disabilities, because then I have to put them on there and find out where they're disabled at.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan, tell me, when you think of the word perseverance, how do you define personal and professional perseverance?
Well, I've been known to be a bullheaded cancer. So when it comes to perseverance, for me, it's never quit. It's constantly looking for things that are hard and doing the hard stuff, because that's where I find value. I don't find value in doing stuff that's easy. And living your life just outside your comfort level and constantly learning and constantly pushing yourself and never being afraid to fail. If you're afraid to fail, it's fine, but it's not who I am. I love to be able to fail, because there's so many amazing lessons, and being able to move past that. That's where the perseverance is. That's where the gold lies.
Yeah, Jonathan, I look at failure and fear as an opportunity to challenge yourself to advance forward. Would you agree with that?
I would, but I also have to be careful with failure, because when you fail too often and you don't give yourself small wins to celebrate, it kind of puts a negative connotation to it, and it's not something that I like personally. Nobody likes to fail, me especially. But the reality is, like you said, without failure, there's nothing to shoot for. There's nothing to learn. And that's where That's where um, that's where I like to be. I always like to be in the learning phase.
Yeah, yeah. And, I always say that the day you turn your mind off to learning is the day that you die, because everyone doesn't have the same experience level and the level of experience. And I think the diversity of life is differing perspectives, isn't it?
To a point, yeah. But I also believe that death is also a learning experience.
Yeah, and learning and growing from a life experiences is important. That's why I think we connect on a human level. And I also know that you live now in South Florida, but you're originally from Canada, buddy. So tell me, what do you miss about the north side of the border, and what do you like most about living in South Florida, bud?
What do I miss about Canada? Some friends and some family members, but not much.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's a lie. I mean, living in South Florida has been it's been an interesting challenge, especially with a move down here. I never thought I would move down to the US. I always thought I was going to move across the pond into Europe, but it is what it is. Um, what do I like about South Florida? Let's see. Well, let's go with what I miss about what I'm going to miss about Canada. I'll miss the falls. I'll miss the springs. Those are my two favorite seasons, spring and fall. I would like to say I miss summer, but it's summertime. This is the Sunshine State, and this is summer year round. So
You get summer 360, 65 down there, don't
yeah,
you?
yeah, I'm definitely not going to miss the winters.
I didn't think so.
But some of the things that I actually like about down here is the people. The people here remind me of what Toronto used to be back in the 80s. You know, friendly, kind, warm, nice people, good people, like salt of the earth people that are always willing to help a lending hand. I can't even begin to start to tell you the kind of the opportunities that have opened up for me down here. It's crazy. Back in Toronto, I used to fight for every single millimeter that I would move forward, fight tooth and nail. Here, it's like if somebody is aligned with what your vision is and what and where your direction is, they'll tag on to you and then push you forward. And that's what I love about this place. Mind you, the weather is also nice. It's a nice little.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that. And do you see any parallels from American to Canadian culture? Like, can you tell the difference that you're in an American culture now that you've moved down to South Florida?
Not really. Not really. Like if you remove all the flags, if you remove some if you remove all the flags, you think you're in Canada.
Well, it makes you feel right at home then, I guess, huh? With improved
Well,
weather.
well, yeah, I always joke. I improved in the weather and I upgraded the weather and I downgraded the connectivity.
Okay.
But I always joke with that. But to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like home. Neither did Canada. I was born and raised in Toronto. My whole life I spent in Toronto, and I never felt like I was home. I've always felt like I was home in Greece, and that's still in play. That's still in play.
That's your happy place, isn't it?
Oh, that's yeah. Last time I went there was last summer in 2021, and when the plane was coming in for a landing, I had the window seat, and I was looking out the window, and I was like, I'm in my mid 40s. I was acting like a 4-year-old in my seat.
Well, when we get excited about adventures and culture, it doesn't matter what age you are, right? It's always exciting, isn't it?
Sometimes, I mean, I sometimes, I have to be honest. I have to be honest with you because I've traveled around the world and I don't get the feeling that I get the feeling when I go to Greece. I don't. I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Cuba. I've been here in the United States many, many times. I don't get the feeling. I don't get that feeling.
Well, we all have that one special place, don't we? And it sounds like yours is Greece, huh?
Yes, yes, absolutely. 100%. We all have that one special place. And it's important that we find that special place because
And
that's
and
where we can excel as a human being.
yeah, and celebrate the wins in life, right? I'm all about celebrating the small and big wins in life. It's important, isn't it?
Abs 100%. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jonathan, my final question for you today has to do with your own personal or professional legacy and how you want that to be defined.
Um, I want to be able to help as many people as possible and give them the tools that they need so that they can get over whatever mental health issues that's ailing them. And it doesn't have to be complicated. The biggest thing that I want to do is I want to create a community of people that are supporting each other and lifting each other up because we can't do this alone. And there's
Yeah,
a myth that we are alone, which we are not alone. There's thousands of people that are suffering just like we are.
yeah, creating a sense of community is certainly important. Absolutely. And finally, Jonathan, if people want to get connected with anybody, what's the best way they can do that?
I have a Linktree account. It's linktr.ee/resilient reboot productions. All my links, all my social media is there. You guys can just go there, click on whichever social media platform you want to follow me on, go right ahead. And if you need to reach out to me, there's links there that have my email address directly to me, and you can reach out, send me an email, PM, DM, whatever you like.
Absolutely. Well, Jonathan, I thoroughly enjoyed a chance to spend a few minutes with you to talk about fitness, mental health, your time living in Canada, and everything in between, buddy. Your work in the space of fitness and mental health is most appreciated, and I want to thank you for engaging in conversation with me this afternoon. It's most appreciated.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. This was an honor to be here.